And I think it's going to work. I don't think Frank had any choice. If Scott Lagasse was going to push him, he was going to run into Bobby Gerhart.
Now they make the move through 1 and 2, that outside line, making the run, trying to get by Dillon. We'll see if McReynolds closes up on the back bumper of Ty Dillon, and that 2-car draft will work.
Scott Lagasse trying to get to Frank Kimmel's back bumper, and when he gets there, then they're going to have some momentum.
Ray Dunlap.
Hey guys, you were talking about the 32 of Matt Merrill. They pitted on lap 46 here, put right side tires on, and they are good to go. And they believe this lead pack is going to pit yet in this race. So they're looking for a little strategy, and I wouldn't believe it, wouldn't doubt it, I say, if the 32 and the 12 get hooked together. There goes Kimmel. Does he have the lead at the start-finish line?
He did. He took the lead away from Ty Dillon, but can he complete the pass? That's the question now.
He can if he wants it. He can pull down in front of Ty Dillon, and he does for a moment.
That's going to hang out Scott Lagasse, who got him to the front. So Kimmel moves back up in front of Lagasse to try to bring him along.
And that is so key. If you have somebody that works with you, don't hang him out. Yes, Frank could have jumped in front of Ty Dillon and had the lead, but hey, I'm not gonna abandon the guy that got me here. How about Brett Hudson right now running third?
Brett Hudson follows along, and it's Kimmel out in front now of Scott Lagasse and Brett Hudson.
See, now I think that the RCR guys and Scott Nassett, the crew chief, they have to re-examine the fact that they stayed on the racetrack now. Obviously, they know that this bump drafting is going to work, and so I think they really should have taken that opportunity to get down pit road and get that fuel so they know they had enough fuel to get to the end.
That would be the guarantee to make it to the end. Now there's still a question mark with those teams. Bob.
You know, guys, here's something to consider. While a lot of these guys in the ARCA series do not know how to do this 2-car draft and are learning by the minute and second out there, remember, their spotters know a lot more. And Frank Kimmel's spotter for this race is Tony Hirschman Jr. He's the spotter for A.J. Allmendinger, and you should hear him on the radio right now. Rick, he's trying to steal your job. He's like a play-by-play announcer, telling Kimmel exactly what's going on behind him and how Lagasse is trying to hook up with him. So remember that. These guys in the ARCA series learning how to do this 2-car dance. Well, the spotters already know how, and they're helping these drivers.
Well, as far as my job, to coin a phrase, look what's on the track, get in line. There's a lot of them lined up right now. Out in front, it's Frank Kimmel in that 44, Scott Lagasse. Now, Bob mentioned a lot of experience as far as spotting. Scott Lagasse has T.J. Majors, who is spotting for him, who spots for Dale Jr. on Sundays.
Brett Hudson gets shoved out of the way. He wasn't quite right next to the yellow line there. He left about half a car width, and those guys seize that opportunity. Ty Dillon gets by him. It's going to bring Brandon McReynolds with him, and now he's stuck in the middle.
Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle again. Oh my goodness, here we go. Things are heating up as we pass the halfway point. Just 40 laps to go. Now 39 as the pack goes by the start-finish line and into turn number 1. Frank Kimmel and Scott Lagasse did the 2-car draft to get out in front of Ty Dillon. Dillon now back up to the 3rd spot.
Brett Hudson is now 14th after running 3rd on that last lap.
So Kimmel, can he get to victory lane once again here at Talladega? Stay with us. NASCAR Race Hub Monday through Thursday. Make sure to tune in. Steve Burns gives you all the insight as to what's taking place in the NASCAR world. On Tuesday, a big announcement. The 25 nominees for the NASCAR Hall of Fame will be announced on NASCAR Race Hub. Mike Joy and myself will walk you through that. Kyle Petty will be at the Hall of Fame to talk about those nominees. You want to make sure to tune in to NASCAR Race Hub.
See, the leaders having to make their way around a slow car, lap car on the inside of the racetrack. They're able to do that. I'm telling you, every lap that we run under green is making people like Billy Gerhart and Scott Nassett all worrying now about whether they're going to have enough fuel and when they're going to have to stop.
See Ty Dillon looking to the outside of that 25 of Scott Lagasse Jr. And already we've got guys talking from pit box to pit box.
Yeah, that's Ty Dillon's team and Brandon McReynolds' team already talking now about what to do. Ty makes his way to the outside of Lagasse for just a moment, then pulls back to the inside.
Tim George Jr. in the 5th spot in that number 31. Then Sean Corr in the 82 just behind him. Again, this pack working the bottom of the racetrack. Oh, we had a right front tire. Looks like it went out. That's the 98 of Brian Silas. A hard right turn for Brian Silas coming through turns 3 and 4. He goes down onto the apron. Still no caution. Silas on pit road, and down pit road goes Bobby Gerhart in the 5, trying to avoid that 98. So Bobby Gerhart was slowing to avoid, had to go down pit road, and was doing it at about 180 miles an hour.
Brian Silas was coming off the wall trying to make his way to pit road, and Bobby Gerhart at the last second dove to the inside of him to avoid hitting him.
Silas was running in the 7th spot when that problem happened with his race car and got up into the wall. No caution comes out.
I know the ARCA racing officials deemed that Bobby Gerhart was just taking an evasive move to avoid Brian Silas, so I don't think any penalty there. But the problem with that is I think it may have cost Bobby Gerhart the draft. It definitely did cost Bobby Gerhart the draft. He's being shown about 6 or 7 seconds behind.
I think, take a look at this one. Once again, that 98 of Brian Silas run just off the track, and then, yeah, the right front went out.
You could see the fender. Yeah, you could already.
And now the caution comes out. They're saying debris on the racetrack, and I think Billy Gerhart was lobbying for that because he thought that there might be debris after this incident happened.
Anytime you have that kind of contact like that, I think you're going to have some debris. So I think it's a good move by the ARCA racing officials to bring that caution in. There's Billy Gerhart right there, crew chief and brother.
Take a look at this. There's Bobby Gerhart going down pit road at speed.
That really shows you how fast these cars are going when they're down there next to people standing on pit wall there, standing right behind pit wall.
There's Billy Gerhart saying, wait a minute, why aren't we seeing the caution?
That's what he's wanting, is a caution.
It really gets the heart rate up when you're standing about 20 feet away from a car going almost 200 miles an hour, 180 miles an hour down pit road. There you see Brian Silas out of his race car. Disappointed, I'm sure.
Pit road will remain closed because that car of Brian Silas is parked on pit road right now.
And now that we've seen the 2-car tandem able to make their way past the pack, we would expect to see the Ty Dillons and the Bobby Gerharts making their way on.
I think they all have to come. I don't think we've had enough caution laps to ensure that those guys can go that far. Again, they pitted back on lap number 80, on lap number 17. So I don't think there's any way that they could make it to the end without coming down pit road right now.
A lot of damage to that race car. Running 7th when he got into the wall there. You see the Lucas number 5. Bobby Gerhart back there. Barry Fitzgerald once again grabs the Aaron's lucky dog, and we'll get a lap back in that number 14. You know, we've got a couple guys down there on pit road. And Ray, you were standing there. What did that look like when Bobby Gerhart flew by you?
Oh, my Rick, I'm trying to get my breath back. I saw that caution when the car went up into the wall. I thought for sure there'd be a caution, so I ran up to get on the wall. And just as I started to turn to the right to look, Gerhart went by me in a flash, knocked me out off the wall. It was interesting. I didn't know he was coming, but it was sure a wake-up call.
That's amazing right there. And we've seen that before. We've seen that before at these super speedways. I remember Carl Edwards in a Camping World Truck Series race had to avoid an incident. He went down pit road and ended up winning that race, I believe, at Daytona.
Sure did.
So maybe that's a good thing for Bobby Gerhart.
And you remember not so long ago, we had no pit road speed.
Right.
I mean, that's how guys would come off the racetrack off turn 4. If they were pitted down towards turn 1, that's about the speed they would come off the racetrack making a green flag pit stop.
So dangerous, and thank goodness that they have put the pit road speed into place to try to avoid any incidents. So Kimmel out in front. Scott Lagacy running in the 2nd spot. Ty Dillon is 3rd. McReynolds and Tim George Jr. They're your top 5 here at Talladega Superspeedway. The ARCA Racing Series 250 on speed. This Friday, the Music City will be rocked as Todd Bodine, Ron Hornaday, Timothy Peters, and the rest of the world's toughest truckers battle on the concrete. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series from Nashville. That's next Friday, 7:30 Eastern, live on Speed, Motorsports Authority.
Johnny Sauter, our most recent winner in the Camping World Truck Series.
Big win coming at Martinsville. Bob Dillner.
Hey guys, had a very interesting conversation with Frank Kimmel's crew chief, Bill Kimmel, and of course they're just a hoot to work with in the ARCA Racing Series. And I said, Bill, how close are you? I said, can you make it? He goes, I hope. I said, well, how close? He says, real close. I said, well, have you won in a while? He goes, no, we haven't, and that's why we're going to stay out there. We're real close. We don't know if we can make it, but we're sure going to try.
That's a pretty big gamble. Their last victory came in 2008 at Salem, so it's been quite some time. That was win number 74 for Kimmel. He's still 5 behind Iggy Katona, and we're seeing Bobby Gerhart make his way onto pit road now.
That's about 130 miles an hour slower than the last time. You know, Frank Kimmel's worried about having enough fuel. He pitted on lap number 32. Ty Dillon, Brandon McReynolds, Tim George stayed on the racetrack. They pitted on lap number 17.
Chad McCumbee also on pit road now, looking at the front end of that race car. They've got it full of fuel, and away he will go. Bobby Gerhart now in his stall.
Right side tires go on this Lucas Oil Chevrolet. They're going to go ahead and do 4. They made a big wedge adjustment also. 4 tires and fuel here. Gerhart not going to have his same drafting partners when he goes back to the racetrack, but he said they knew they weren't going to be able to make it. He felt like tires and fuel may be the advantage.
Pierre Bourque also coming off of pit road, that number 6. 31 laps of racing to go here at Talladega Superspeedway of the 94. Again, this race scheduled to run yesterday afternoon, but because of the thunderstorms and tornado warnings, we have moved it to a Saturday morning race. Again, 30 laps to go here at Talladega.